Hello and welcome to Kelly's Cooking on the Cheap. Today I wanted to do a video for you doing homemade potato soup. And in this I am going to use some of the produce I had gotten from the fundraiser about a week and a half ago that I had gotten from my son's band fundraiser. And also, and I'll show you a couple other ingredients as well that I am repurposing. And the idea with this channel is that I'm trying to do it on the cheap and not really go overboard. Reuse what you can of what you have or have gotten for other recipes and make it good as well. So here we go. As you can see, I've got some ingredients on the counter, and from the produce box that I am using is celery, which I've already washed off. I've got some of the russet potatoes, the carrot, which they are so huge. I haven't seen anything this huge, and onion. And then as well, if you've seen any of my rotisserie chicken videos, I made a homemade chicken broth, which I had froze. And this, I had to de-thaw it in the microwave to thaw it out. And then also, in one of my trips to Kroger, I had found this cubed ham on clearance. So it's still somewhat frozen, but I did thaw it some on the stove while I was cooking up another lunch, which was my sausage and rice dish. If you want to go back and look at that video as well, that one is under $5 to make. And this one is probably, with getting this for $1.50 and having stuff already, it's probably another $5 to $7.50 meal. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and peel my carrot and potatoes, and then I am going to dice them. This weekend has been another busy weekend. Football game Friday, band competition last night. Boy, didn't get home till late. And so today I'm just trying to catch up on making lunches up for the week. And yes, I could pull a couple things out of the freezer, which since I'm doing this and that sausage rice dish, I'll just pull it down next week for lunch. That's the one nice thing about items being in the freezer. You can pull it down when you need it. I still, I know I have this size dish of chicken broth, but I've got one more dish of chicken broth, and it's probably double the size of this. So I'll use it up here soon when I need it for another recipe. Normally I like to do soups in the crock pot, but since I do have some time this afternoon, I am just going to do it on the stove. And then I will probably meal prep it once it cools down into a couple of containers for me to take to work, because my husband has it made right now to work from home, and he could just put in a bowl here easier than I could. In previous video, I know I've mentioned with me getting a new job, having to meal plan more for a 2-week period at a time. So I have been working on the next couple of weeks off and on, and it seems like I have to keep changing it because the last couple of weeks of meal plans, they've been changing, and that's life, getting it changed a million times. So I'll be working on that and shopping here. And it has made it a lot nicer being able to do my bulk shopping the first when I get paid, and not as much the second week. Because like yesterday, finishing grocery shopping, all I had to get was a gallon of milk, a loaf of bread, and a box of waffles. And we were good to go. So here's this, and I'm going to set it to the side, and I'm going to wash off my potatoes and carrot. Again, this onion came from the produce box that I got, and I picked the smallest one to use up. And if I don't use it all, I'll just freeze it and have it for next time. Probably try and dice it up smaller than I normally do. Yeah, I'm still smelling the sausage rice dish, and I put a ton of garlic in, so I'm still smelling it, which I love garlic, so I just hope I didn't make it too garlicky. So what are some of your favorite things to make if you're getting close to the end of payday and waiting for the next one? What do you like to make with what you've got on hand? Let me know. All right, there's that. Cut that off. Yeah, I need to wash up the rest of the celery so that way my husband can eat on it this week with his lunches. Should have left that paper towel over here to put all the loose stuff on. Now, I've seen other videos of folks when they do veggies like this, save their scraps like that, maybe put it in the freezer, and then when they have a whole bunch, they just throw it in and make some homemade veggie broth. So that is an option as well. I'm kind of limited on freezer space, so we'll see if I save it or not. Because that would be good to have if you have, like I did with the rotisserie chicken bones, put it all together. All right, next is the carrot. I don't know if I'll use all of the carrot. I might just do half, and then the other part of the carrot I'll just do carrot sticks. Because this is one humongous carrot. Alright, so here's my carrot sticks. I'm gonna get a baggie for them. Alright, there's some lunch. Now let me get the rest of this diced. Alright. Alright. I put the rest of these in the bag too and cut these up a little finer. So now we are going to go over to the stove. And, well, wait a minute. I got to do the taters. I'm getting ahead of myself. But let me go get a really need. I'm just going to dice them up like I would maybe for fried potatoes or get them boiling for mashed potatoes. I will mash these up some and maybe leave some chunks in once it's done. I'm out of heavy cream, so I'll probably just use regular milk after a while once it's done. I'm kind of glad it is getting fall for soup season. So we've got veggie soup we're going to have leftovers of tomorrow. I made cornbread as my bread for that. We'll see what we have with this. Probably not much, since it's a lunch. I also forgot to show for seasonings that I'm going to put in the soup. I'm going to put a little paprika in. Again, some garlic, salt, and pepper. I know I said the salt word, and I know I've said repeatedly on previous videos, I don't cook much with salt, but with the chicken broth, it just has the seasoning from the rotisserie. So, and the ham, diced ham, whatever salt. So it's not going to have much salt, so I'm just going to add a little. Now, if I had seasoning packets where it already had the salt in it, you wouldn't be seeing me add any. I'm going to have to do these over here. Alright, so I'm going to see you next at the pot. Alright, so we're at the pan. It's heated. I'm going to add a couple tablespoons of butter. And I'm using unsalted butter. That way you can control the salt. Get that melted. And then once this melts a little bit more, I'm going to add the onion, celery, and carrot. And get that cooked down a little. Alright, that's probably good, so I'm going to go ahead and add if I get a little potato in. Alright. Very good. Let that cook up a little. Then once it cooks a little bit, then I'll probably add what garlic I have left. Stringy celery. I think that's the one thing I don't like to eat celery by itself, is because of the string. Probably the texture thing, who knows. All right, I'm going to turn up the heat a little, put the lid on, and let it cook for a few minutes. So we'll be back, okay? All right, so the onions have sweated out a little. So let me add the garlic. Gonna have to get some more on my list for this next week. All right, that's good. Smelling good in here. Almost smells like for veggie soup. All right, so I'm going to add my potatoes. That way they can soften up a little. All right, there's that. And at this point, I think I'm going to at least go ahead and add some pepper to it. Again, salt and pepper to your tasting, but I'm not big on a lot of salt, so I'll probably just do a couple twists. All right. Alright, so let me go ahead and add my ham. Here's my package. And it's still somewhat frozen, but it'll thaw out pretty quickly. Alright, let's see if I can break that open. Nope, not yet. Alright, so let me add the chicken broth. See how much more water I might need to add. Alright, I'm going to add about another bowl full to this. And then I'm going to let it simmer probably maybe 45 minutes or so. All right, here's some more water. All right, I'm going to just leave it as that. And like I said, I'm going to let it sit or check back here in about 45 minutes and see how it's looking and see if the potatoes are tender and taste for seasoning. I'll probably do the paprika. Let's go ahead and do the paprika, huh? All right, I just did a little dash. And we'll check back in about 45 minutes. Hello, welcome back. And it's not quite 4:30 yet, about 5 minutes off. But I checked the potatoes and they seem tender. So I'm going to mash them up. Sorry about that. This way maybe it'll help thicken it up. When I go start talking, there goes my coughing. Yeah, you can tell it's true chicken broth because it smells really good. So now what I'm going to do is add a little milk to it, since I'm out of heavy cream or half and half. I think I will add a handful of cheese or so. Let's see if it thickens up a little bit. And then we'll come back and do a final taste test. It's a little thicker, probably not as thick as I'd like, because I probably put too much water in it earlier, but you learn. So I'm going to dish it up, at least my dishes, that way you could see the texture. What I could have done was I could have added a couple more potatoes to it, but maybe it'll thicken up as it sits in the fridge. But here you go, if you could see the carrots and celery in there, and it'll probably be really good with the chicken broth that I had made as well. So there's dish 1 for me for lunch, and here'll be dish 2. And there's a potato chunk. Yay! I didn't mash them all. And I'll just probably take me some crackers with it. Oh, and there's some ham chunks. All the ham's probably at the bottom. Yep. I'm gonna go put a ham chunk in the other. Yeah, my husband will probably get all of the ham. But here, let me grab my spoon and we'll taste it. Who knows? I might take the pepper with me when I go to work and add it when I'm in there. All right. I am ready for next week because I looked ahead and the weather's supposed to be in the 70s next week. I'm ready. Pretty good. It has just enough salt where it's a little salty but not too bad. I'll probably add pepper when I heat mine up, and it'll be really good. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and hope it inspired you to fix up than what you've got on hand. And it helps keep it cheap and inexpensive. I hope you have had a good weekend. Hopefully this video will hurry up and load up today. If not, have a good Monday, and we'll see you next time.